Hi, so I've been trying out the Roborock Saros 10R for the past weeks. Here, the 10R was released during the first quarter of 2025 and has since then, together with the normal 10 without the R, been Roborock's top-of-the-line models. Here, both models are fairly similar in terms of functionality, but differs mainly in navigation and mopping technique. Here, Saros 10 is using classic LiDAR together with a vibration mop pad, whilst the 10R uses the company's new Star Sight navigation without a LiDAR tower and the more classic rotating mopping pads. Looking at specs, the Saros 10R has got it pretty sweet, with a suction power of 20,000 pascals and a dual brush system that actually and basically eliminates hair and other yuck getting stuck in them. It has also got an extendable side brush as well as an extendable mop arm to be able to better clean corners and tricky to reach places. It can even adjust the height of the wheels to easier climb up on mats and or over thresholds, something that does also indeed work really well. Looking at the base station, it is, apart from emptying and refilling its own water tanks, completely automatic and both fills up the robot with clean water and a cleaning solution if you want to use that, and takes care of the dirty water as well as that it empties the robot's dustbin and also washes and dries both the mop pads and itself when needed. A really neat stack of features that also do work really well. A note here though is that the dustbin on the robot itself is actually pretty small with a volume of only 270 mils, meaning that it's basically a necessity to set the robot to return to the base station during a cleaning session to empty its internal dustbin. If you let it wait to the end of a cleaning session, then this can happen instead. So a little bit of an odd choice here with the size, at least in my opinion. Moving on, design-wise, both the robot and the base station is nice and feels fairly good in terms of build quality. The robot is also Roborock's thinnest one yet, measuring only 7.98 centimeters in height, meaning it can easily get under most furniture, which is nice. However, I'm not a huge fan of the, mirror-like finish on the front of the base station, but it's there and that's me. Getting started with the whole thing is as easy as always: unpack, put together, or in this case my review example was already pre-put together, connect the base station to a wall socket, put down the robot and go. Everything is then controlled by Roborock's excellent app that's got a pretty neat set of features, including changing everything from suction power and the amount of water that gets used for the mops to how object detection should be handled, and also cleaning routines for the base station. Since the robot has also got a built-in camera, you can actually drive it through the app and even have a two-way conversation with, for example, your pet if it is at home alone. Bear in mind though that because of privacy reasons, the robot here constantly lets you know with a loud voice that it is being remotely controlled. But yeah, you can do it if you want. Speaking of the object avoidance and navigation system, this is actually one, if not the best I've actually tested so far, and the robot simply refused to eat any of the tasty USB cables I've been feeding to the earlier test subjects. So neat there. As for the actual cleaning results, the Saros 10, with a price tag of roughly $1,100 right now, normally at launch it was about $15.99, should be expected to perform with top-of-the-line results and nothing less. Here, the results though does not quite live up to the really high price tag, at least not according to me. In its core, the vacuuming capabilities are absolutely fair, good even, and for normal dirt and dust there are usually no issues at all. However, when it comes to bigger pieces of dirt, the pickup is a bit more sporadic, where the robot sometimes happily chugs away most things, whilst other times not being able to move, for example, smaller leaves into the dustbin, thus leaving them on the floor. As for mopping though, this is probably where the Saros 10R shines the most and really gives a fresh feel as well as a clean floor. As per usual, the mop pads also get lifted when the robot is vacuuming a mat. Here, if you want to, the robot can also actually leave the pads in the base station automatically if it's only vacuuming, or you can also have it start vacuuming the mats and then go back and attach the mop pad automatically to do the mopping session afterwards. And while the extended mop pad also works fantastic and really does a good job reaching corners and difficult to get to places, the same thing can however not be said about the brush arm that sometimes extends in corners to help with the cleaning, but sometimes, and to be honest most of the times, not at all. There is here a beta function available in the app to make the brush extend in other more hard to reach places and areas as well. However, even with this setting turned to on, the spottiness of the extended function in the side brush is somewhat underwhelming. which would have been okay if the whole thing was beta, but here the extendable arm is actually part of the whole sales pitch for the Saros 10R, so I would definitely have expected more here. So to sum up this one, the Saros 10R is definitely a very competent and function-filled robot vacuum cleaner that gives fair and pretty decent results, and both the navigation and the dual brush system works great. My only real issue here is that for an absolute top model of a robot vacuum cleaner with a top dollar price tag, I would have expected absolute top functionality and results as well. So the problem here isn't so much that the Saros 10R isn't good, it's more just the fact that it's not the absolute best. Alright, those are my thoughts on the Roborock Saros 10R. Please share any of your thoughts or questions in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching. Bye.